Hey, Cape Stories. Good evenings, goeienaand julle. Hoop dit gaan goed saam met julle. We are gonna chat tonight with a lady, well-known lady. Many of you guys know her. Many of you guys follow her. We're gonna chat with the lady behind Colored Girls Rock. And we're gonna have a nice conversation to find out wie is die vrou agter die page. You know, we always read what she writes, and the page is funny, and is that after that late night topics, yes, sis, ek kan nie wag vir die aandie. So that's for my actually quite, you know. But we're gonna chat to Shantelle tonight, and Byron is with me, my colleague and my side chick, or whatever you guys want to call us. But yeah, let me introduce you quickly to the team quickly. Let me just do one thing. There we go. Hey, good evenings, Byron. Good evening, Shantelle. I think we lost Shantelle there.
Hey. So ek is nou officially na jou side chick. Ek weet jou vrou gaan kwaad raak. Kleerlik manne wat sê hulle side chicks en goeie. You can't make such jokes. How you doing, man? Otherwise, last we spoke was on your birthday.
Yeah, I'm doing good, Byron. I can't complain really, hey. It's just a bit hectic the last couple of days. But I'm doing good, brother. How have you been? You know, and I know
man,
also
tomorrow-
you've been a bit busy.
Tomorrow is
How
again
you
treatment, but I'm blessed. I'm around. I'm blessed. They say it's Women's Month, so ons gaan 'n lekker praat oor Women's Month. We're empowering with a lot of empowering women that we bring on board, that we speak to. And I see Shan, and I can't call her that because you're saying Shantelle on the title, so I don't know if I can say Shan or Shantelle. What do you prefer, Shantelle?
Probably Shan, because like everybody says my name differently.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Stanley's gonna get into it also now, and thank you for coming on board. And as Women's Month, we want to embrace and empower women. That's something we don't do much of on the colored community on the Cape Flats, and that's something what you're doing very empowering with your Cape Flats. Your Colored Girls Rock page, as Stanley would say. I admired. Ek weet nie, hy's 'n getroude man, but ek sien hy's altyd op my page, and I'm a bit worried. You know, I'm a little bit worried on that.
En die ander laat en die ander gaan te goede in.
Yeah, you'll actually be surprised. Like a lot of, I think the demographics on my page are literally pretty even. So I think we're talking about like probably, I don't know, about 56% are women and 44% are guys.
Wow. That's surprising. But then again, men want to see what woman likes, and I assume a lot of your page is set around that topics that relates to women, what they like and what they want out of a man, or what they want out of their own life. But anyway, Shantelle, as Stanley said, also meer weet van jou. We want to know more about you, because sometimes people think it's just a page and people are just doing this. It's not part of a movement like Cape Flat Stories. A lot of people thought, it's just another colored platform, another page of colored people voicing their problems. But actually, this page is also more of a movement. So let us know more about you, Shantelle.
Okay, well, before we get to me, I mean, what Stan's actually managed to do is like amazing, because he's actually turned his page into like an MPO, which actually helps a whole lot of people, which is great. It's definitely something I admire, because I often think about it, but and then I think, that's too much work, eh? Imagine. So what he does is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Shantelle.
Okay, so a bit about me. So I started running this page. I think it's now about, what's it now? I think I always say 10 years, but I think it's now 12 years. And it started out like, it was started by somebody else, and then it was a guy, and he literally started getting banned a lot, but he also got married, and his wife wasn't very charmed with what was going on. So then he actually decided, no, he's not going to do the page anymore. And then I changed it from being a page where you just had a whole lot of pictures of colored girls, like pretty colored girls and half naked colored girls and whatever, to being more of like a family community type page. It's not really family. Those late night topics are really not for any families. So it's more like a community page. And the idea was basically just to have a safe space where colored people could just go and just be themselves. It was just about that, I guess. So that's a bit about the page. But I suppose about me, I'm actually a marketing manager. So that's what I do by day. So that's when you see all the nice things like the resorts and all the traveling and everything. That's basically just the day job. And I actually have no idea what else to say about myself.
Yeah, that's
I don't
humbling when
speak about
people don't
myself a
talk
lot.
about the self. It seems like an empath. You concentrate more on others' feelings and make sure they are happy. Do you see yourself as an empath, or don't you classify yourself as one of
I
those
think
type of
that's
people?
I think that's probably 100% true. I worry a lot more about other people than I do about myself.
Mm, mm.
I
But let's
speak
get
about other people a lot more than I speak about myself, actually, as well.
so it's going to be difficult getting out of you what you do, but that's actually gives me a sense. I never knew what you just said. A guy started the page. That is quite interesting. A guy started the page, but he got banned because ons manne se koppe is met 'n bietjie meer vuil. Our
You know
topics and
what?
our stuff is a bit different.
So when the page started, it was completely different. Okay. So what it is now is literally what it has been for the last 10, 12 years.
Hmm.
But what it was when he started it was just about, that's why the name, I guess. He was just like, he was just posting like pictures of colored girls, and girls would send in pictures, and it was just all about, like, literally just about looking at pretty girls. And then it started getting a little bit more interesting, where people would start sending in jokes, and there would be topics and those type of things. But it didn't go. It's really not the same page. And then about 12 years ago, when I took it over, it was also more or less in a time when I had a lot going on in my life. I was busy. I was in the process of getting divorced and stuff. And it was like I had a lot of time, and people were awake all hours of the night. So I managed to like find, just a way to I don't know, to forget about my own problems and just actually, interact with a whole lot of other people on the page. And that's basically how it actually, then it grew and it became bigger. And then it was, okay, fine, you know what, this page reaches so many people. Let's try and use it to help people as well. So yeah, there's a second admin. So Leanne is the second admin. She doesn't post very much. But most of the page is just me posting. Like, she'll comment now and again, but she's got more of a life than I do. She's got, she's a lot younger. Her kids are a lot smaller. So yeah, she's got a life. I always say that I don't have much of a life.
No, it's unfair to say that sometimes. You just said something that I like. You said, not like, but it's maybe we don't need to touch into that. Like, you went through a divorce at the same time. And, I also went through a divorce, and I don't want to just relate, but sometimes when you sit with your own thoughts, it's nice to have an escape. So that kind of also helped in a way, wouldn't it? Did it help with a lot of things that you wanted to get out? Some advice from other women that you could relate to was that kind of reach out? Were you mainly just concentrating on marketing the page, or was the page kind of a baby that was helping you also seeking certain topics that you would like to discuss and certain of advice and liaising with different women also?
I think it wasn't. It was just about. It wasn't much that I needed help at that point in time. I just needed somewhere to escape to. I guess that was
Mm,
more what it was about. And also, yeah, just like, sometimes when you actually hear other people's problems, it puts your problems into perspective. Is
mm,
your life really that bad? Because there are
mm,
some people that are a lot, in a lot worse situations than you are at any point
mm.
in time.
Mm. But you know what I like when I went on the page? Stanley kyk meer seker as my, want hy gaan lees al die tips op wanneer hy deur hy page gaan. He's now so quiet and he's probably going to come in now with it. I like it that you guys have a couple of controversial topics in between. So is there like a set time, like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, die kinders slaap, ons gaan nou die topics uitbring, nou gaan ons lekker chat vanaand? Or during the day, do you even bring that topics in? It's always relatable. I went to have a scroll. It's always relatable. Ladies, what do you like in a man? You even give men opportunity. This time, you man of the month. And man is honger, young. If they know a lot of women is going to look at them and think they are this good-looking guy. So you guys have kind of a trick up your sleeve where you kind of also using us men a little bit and making us understand who has the power. Because that page has a lot of power to destroy and help. I'm telling you now.
That does. I always say, like, like, okay, I'm going to let you in on something, right? As of today, like, the reach on the page is incredible, right?
Mm.
So if I look at my stats right now, my reach for the last 28 days is something like 3.75 million people.
Mm.
So that's a lot of people that just listen and that are actually following a page that's literally just talking nonsense most of the time, but relatable nonsense. So so it would make no sense to actually not have all these guys there and actually try and pick their brains a bit and like, okay, so what do you think of this? And you got to do it in a clever way that actually makes them come out of their shells. But yeah, other than that, it's I seem to have that knack, so I enjoy it when the guys actually interact.
And I don't know if Stanley agrees with me. Stanley will probably jump in here, but I see it as a club that's full of women and men stand outside and they want to come in. I see the page as such a type of platform. So they're waiting for me permission. Okay, you can come in now, but you gonna pay with an answer. You're going to pay with something because there's always like the man has to not defend himself. There's a lot of women also I've seen defend men on that page, and
So
which is brilliant sometimes. And there's a lot of
yeah,
women that help each other also, which I like the positive side of the page is women uplifting each other on that page. That's a positive. Have you ever? I'm not so deep in your page. You probably admin always. Have you ever had to come across women nitpicking, fighting each other on certain topics on the page that you had to handle the situation a bit carefully, or so all of your followers quite decent?
so I'd say like 99.9% of my followers are like people that that never misbehave. You know what I mean? You don't ever have people swearing on the page or people just like attacking each other or whatever. I think when that happens, also I follow the page a lot, so I've got the notifications that come to my phone all the time. So I go through them, like say maybe every 10, 15 minutes, I go through the notifications and just check to see that everything is still okay and that there isn't people like attacking each other. And the ones that do, I ban them. My favorite button on this page when people look for nonsense with me or with anybody else is the ban. I ban and delete you. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, and it's actually cool to do that because in today's life, people want that negativity because it helps their pages grow. But it's good that you're not growing via negativity. I was actually going to ask this question, and the last comment there says from Deploy. Any particular topics that's hot that you guys discuss that comes up that you guys discuss? Is there like a trend of topics, or is there any particular topics that women linger on that they want to discuss, especially in the colored girls community? Because ek is lief vir ons colored vroumense. They're out there. Ons is bruin mans, ons is lief vir ons colored vroumense. But sometimes ons weet net nie how dangerous they are with their mindset. You know what they want out of a man. So do your topics generally help men also understand them, or is it just, yeah, woman, you tell me what you like, plain and simple?
No, I think the thing about my page literally is the fact that it's interactive. So we never have I can't say that there's a specific topic that people like. Look, the after dark topics are lit. I mean, if you can bring up any after dark topic, right? And I promise you, it has always got like easily up to 1,000 comments in a very small space of time.
Yeah.
And people are very open, and I love that about it because it's literally, I never thought there would be. And then the ones that get the most attention is the ones where Mavis sends me, or like, we now call Miss Vanjie, whatever, sends me this thing, and then we actually have this thing where we speak about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, when Mavis's topics are hectic, hey? So it's sorry, I'm just plugging in my phone. So when Mavis actually has a topic, I literally have to I blush. I literally sit back and I'm like, oh my God, I can't say that. And then the page goes wild though, which is great for engagement.
I like that. I don't know if Stanley has a question before I go in. I would love some of your viewers to pop on, come and because they can discuss what topic. Because I know viewers want to exactly know what is a type of saucy topic. It's useless if we say, okay, some saucy topics. Just blunt out one topic what comes to your mind that you think, wow, this rocked some people's world when they started discussing it. Like, is there like a certain type of topic that comes to mind?
Okay, it depends. Okay, so the ones that where the girls are going to get like really really upset is where you start chatting about like literally saying things like, if you don't look after your husband or whatever, some other chick is going to take him. Phew. Then you like get like, it's like you've woken up the lions.
Oh.
So like a lot of women in I mean in the community, you guys really need to actually take a moment now. So all the Cape Flats guys, because I think it your page has got more guys on than mine. Um, but you guys need to stop cheating, hey? Or the guys need to stop cheating on these good women
Aye.
and
Women
making
must
them
also
bitter.
stop cheating. They just
Ah, that's a
Shantelle,
smaller, much
the
smaller
guy,
amount.
no, but the
So
guy
so
cheats with the women,
you
or in most
okay.
cases.
oh,
So it's a woman
Yeah.
that is, part of the problem.
I hear
mm,
you. I hear you. Except like so what happens is the ones where the women get really upset is like where you mention those things, and it's like literally you bringing it up to be constructive, right? But um the standard type of answers for that is like, Aswa, a man can what? You can only take a man if he wants to be taken. That one
mm,
comes up a lot. And
mm.
then also like, as jy hom wil hê, vat hom maar. Jy gaan hom hoeka maar net terugstuur or whatever.
Mm.
It's like lit. I mean, some people really take it serious, and it really isn't. It's not that you're saying it's not serious. It's just you literally saying, guys, there's a lot of single girls, and there's a lot more single women on my page than there are married women, and you find that the single women, and I mean I'm divorced, so I can tell you straight out, my DMs are lit. Okay, you should see how many people climb into that DM, right?
Even
And
married women's DMs are lit, if not more.
maybe I don't know, but yeah, I wouldn't know about that one. But okay, anyway, so basically you turn around and you say, okay, no, cool, I understand, like from a single perspective, you know what?
Mm,
There's a lot of married guys that are trying to chat us up.
mm,
So maybe like pay a little bit more attention at home. And I mean, the guys, I mean, you don't know whether to believe them or not, but they've got stories, eh? So you're just actually saying, you know what? Maybe make a little bit more effort in that after dark topics, learn
Yeah.
some stuff there. Take what you can from that and go and practice, make a date night, do this pineapple thing, whatever. And okay, I have the Stony and the Stony and Walls thing. Okay, I think I am the sole reason why whoever manufactures Halls has now got a yacht. Okay, because there was one good day we had one of these after dark topics, right?
mm,
And one of the girls actually brought it up and she said something about Stony and Walls. And I was like, what do you mean? And then I
mm,
said to her, how? Wait, stop. Inbox me, tell me the story. I want to see what you're on about. So I did,
mm,
and then I researched it, and apparently it's a thing, guys. It's an actual thing. So I
mm,
started posting about it. And now you can go to any garage or Pick and Pay or Spar or whatever. Just look for the black walls box. Nah? It'll be next to all the other boxes, but it will be the one where there's the least amount of packets in. So yeah, so it's about actually just trying new things and whatever. But that's not how it comes across when you put that topic up there. There's a lot of people that get very, very, very upset.
On the Cape Flats, it was smoothies and papsak.
I'm saying
But
nothing.
but
but
but yes,
yeah, I don't know what
no.
pineapple you were talking about, but I just wanted to get clarity. I don't know. Stanley, ek weet nie of jy weet wat hulle beteken by pineapple nie, but I don't know if I'm getting it wrong. I'm just gonna
It's a
leave it
cake
there,
mix.
Stanley.
I'm
It
gonna
was a
tell you
cake mix,
afterwards. Sayonara
but
Tetse.
but I taste wat ek kry van die hols en van die ginger beer. Dit is so lekker smaak. Dis amper soos jy
Mm.
iets lekker geëet het. I don't know
I
if that
don't
is
know
one of
so
the
lack
reasons.
about that. Again, I'm gonna plead the fifth there. I almost said something I shouldn't be saying. So
Sento,
Stan, wait. So wait, I'm
yeah,
coming. I'm flying up on Thursday.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
So you need to have lunch with me sometime.
Anytime, just let me know when.
Okay,
Just let
cool.
me
Because
know.
I'm gonna do lunch at a couple of places that people recommended, like I'm going to M&D's and
Okay.
I think I'm going to Cape to Curry, and there's a couple of other places as well. I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for people to tell me to give me more places. Ek gaan baie vet is as 'n case to come, but anyway, that's not the point.
Full of A-plus is
So
full
I'm
of
just
One of the
gonna,
talent. Take
places.
you right through.
Now you
so
also let me
so
know, but
so
one of the places is Premium Sports Bar. Just make a note of that Premium Sports Bar.
okay, cool. Because what I'm gonna do is when I go there, I'm just gonna make a live or whatever and just promote them a little
Shan,
bit.
just
So
for a
I
second there. I
figure,
think the phone was off, Stan.
Perfect.
Are
okay,
you guys
can you
still
hear me
there?
now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir.
Byron's gone. Okay, so I said I'm gonna do I'm gonna do lives from all these places that I go to.
Okay.
Just to like promote it a bit. That's all.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Perfect. No, you just let me know. A place you want to be is Premium Sports Bar. There's some other places as well here. A nice place in town is Sicaro's. I love it. It is a brilliant place, but that's like
Hmm.
for after dark. So it's a nice place you want to go. It's a place that Alice Isabel owns, or he's a partner there.
Hmm.
Brilliant place, brilliant vibe, good music, good food,
Hmm.
nice.
Okay, cool. You'll WhatsApp me afterwards and tell me, remind
I
me,
will, I will do
because
so.
I won't
Maybe
forget.
maybe you should make a comparison also between Pizza Time and M&D's and tell us which you think is the best. They kind of serve the similar type of thing,
Yeah.
if I'm right, Stanley.
So there
More or
were a
less.
couple of people. Sorry, I just want to switch off my sound. So there were a couple of people that actually did do a comparison of it when I actually initially said I'm going to go to Cape Town.
Mm.
So a lot of people said, okay, no, rather go to M&D's. So, but I'll go to both and I'll check it out.
Mm, mm, mm. But Stan, before we go in, we got to the topic that you guys discussed on the page. Now,
Mm-hmm.
from a male's perspective, I go and creep on and I go and have a look. Ons mansmense is mos verbarig. We want to know. So although it
Uh-huh.
says colored girls rock, ons wil look wit. Hoekom rock julle so? Wat rock jy bout? Are you trying to push us one side? Oh, what I admire also at one point, what you
Okay.
just said now,
Okay.
99. Hey, like I said, 99% of the women
no, go on.
are very positive and they have a very positive outlook on the page and they don't press each other down. What do you think was the cause of that? Because I'm telling you now, especially in the colored community with girls in Cape Town, they hammer on each other and they don't stand by each other's side most of the time. I'm generalizing now, but the page actually shows there's a lot of women that want to support each other.
So I don't know. I must admit, I think we've all experienced the situation where we see other people, where we see women bring each other down, and I mean that's not just a colored thing; it's just a general thing. But I think the way we actually run the page, where I run the page, and in terms of the minute you actually come with that kind of behavior, you're not in the right place. This is because we're not about that. We specifically are about building up the community, building up businesses in the community, helping each other out. So that's what we want to do. So, if you're coming in here and you want to come and attack somebody, or you just want to pull down somebody, or you just want to talk general crap about somebody, that is literally where you would realize that you are in the wrong place. So I think that's what it was about. I don't think it was an intentional thing of saying, okay, only people that are not going to bring each other down are allowed to be on this page. It was never anything like that.
So, but that's good though. But what is the page? And sorry to ask this question. Do you think there's another objective that the page wants to reach? Maybe it becomes a dating site. I don't know, because that I see the page has a lot of potential in that way to market towards an app of a dating site. I don't know if that's your goal, but I like what you said, uplifting and creating jobs. Uplifting and creating jobs and all those things. What's the next objective that you think could be collaborated into the page also?
So what I actually want to do, right? And in actual fact, it's something that I've been wanting to do for about a year, but then COVID happened. So then it never became a thing. So about a year and a half ago, just literally before COVID hit, I had decided what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a platform where we could help people start their own businesses. Because the one thing that I find in the colored community where we're completely lacking is the economic side of things. So, like everybody else will promote businesses in their area, and they will support businesses in their area. I mean, I always look at the story about how the Jewish community will make sure that they only buy, to support another Jewish person. And that is how, they build wealth. And I can't blame them for that. That's a brilliant idea. So I wanted to start that kind of mindset in our communities, where you're not necessarily starting a bank or you're starting Woolworths or whatever, but you're supporting, you're helping this guy, or you're starting helping to start a business, maybe a catering business. They need maybe 20 grand to start up, and that business is going to be supporting maybe 2 or 3 families. And then I would obviously like try and help them with getting the funds together, try and help them with marketing themselves. I mean, one thing I'm really good at is the marketing stuff and the digital marketing side. And that's what I wanted to do. And then COVID happened and all of those things went flying away, because all of a sudden the biggest need in our community was just helping people feed themselves.
And I think, Shan, that is a big problem in our communities currently with the pandemic. People don't have jobs. I mean, you can tell me, you get probably messages every day in your inbox on Colored Girls Rock. Can't we help us? Can't we do this? And sometimes you feel so, so hard, so you can't answer this person or you can't help this person. And I mean, emotionally also, I think these pages put a lot of strain on us, because I do know that you do help people, that I've seen firsthand. But
I'm not
the problem is this: we can't help everyone, And how do you deal with that?
So personally, what happens with me is like I will have days where I actually can't read my inboxes because they're just so hectic and the stories are so crazy, and people just are desperate and they need help. There's no other way of actually looking at it. So how you actually, I always feel bad when I do help people. On the one hand, you're feeling like, yes, you're doing something good because you're helping people. On the other hand, you're sitting there and you're thinking, good grief, I'm helping this family, but there's another family that is equally desperate. And some of them actually do send you a message saying, "Mahuko means a help and you don't want to help me." It's just because I can't help everyone.
Wow.
So yeah, it definitely gets to me. And there's days where, like Byron said earlier, I'm an empath. So I feel people's pain deeply. So there's days where I just literally can't even breathe because I feel I'm so depressed because I don't know how to help everybody. And those are the days you'll probably see a lot of jokey topics on the page where nothing is serious.
And a lot of people might think this is wishy-washy talk, but what you just mentioned now as an empath, and a lot of people don't like to give themselves names, stereotype themselves on certain things. But if you classified as an empath and also handling such a platform and getting all those information, like Stanley now said, how do you carry these emotions? Because it can be eating inside of you at some point. It can be overwhelming, especially for an empath, getting all that information and you want to help everybody. And now you're giving a piece of yourself until you are drained. How do you recharge yourself to understand I need to take a step back? Because it's hard for an empath to do, as you would know. It's hard to take that step back and say, I can't give now of myself, because I relate to that. Sometimes it's hard for me not to give of myself, that I need a reminder or smack from someone else saying, Byron, you are deteriorating. You need to look after yourself. Is there someone that's supporting you in that way, or is it just your mind telling you, I need to step back sometimes from this? I need to clear my mind.
No, I don't think anybody can do anything alone. So I have a lot of really good friends. Okay, not a lot of good friends, but I have like a few really, really good friends. Some of them, in fact, I think most of them are on the page. And when I really feel like I can't, like there's a specific thing I can't handle, whatever, I'll talk about it and I'll say, you know what, this is the story, or I'll share it. I'll copy and paste it and put it on, like into a WhatsApp with him. And like my one friend, I think she's commenting on here, Habiba. So she'll usually just tell me, Choms, you can't help everybody. You just need to chill a bit and do what you can. And whatever happens, happens. You know what I mean? You're doing your best. And that helps. It like sometimes I don't feel like my best is good enough, but it's still, if I can help one person, at least I've helped that one person. And some people's requests are a little bit above what I can do. Like, for example, there's probably like a whole lot of them, a lot of people that have sent of those messages right now where people can't pay rent. And even when I'm trying to help, I never get to the amounts of money where I can be helping people in that way. You know what I mean? I can literally, help with food and that type of things. It's literally all I can do because everybody's in a position where finances are a bit tight everywhere.
And I do agree with you there. But I like what you said. There's a friend. I think we say that mutual friend, Habiba. She's been amazing. She's been supporting myself as well. Ideas. So she's a brilliant, brilliant person. So Habiba, big ups to you. But also, Sen, there's something I want to ask you. There is some of those people that are just on your page, like not on your page, but that will inbox you. They don't really need help. They just want to see where you hang out. I have many times seen that then you come to the people's house, but you look really swanny, man. There's mense wat swaarder kry, you're still living a lavish
And
lifestyle. And I've seen that. And so I have a way how I work with those with requests and stuff. How do you deal with that? Because people have food, but they just want dikke goede. They don't want to eat rice and bread, or they just want to eat liquor.
okay, so I'm lucky in the sense that most of the people that have inboxed me have been genuine. There's been one or two where I've felt that, no, you're just taking advantage of me. But I mean, out of the hundreds and hundreds of people I've helped, maybe, having just having one or two people that have been like dodgy is, it's probably a pretty good percentage. But what I do is, if somebody sends me a message, I have people that I trust in different places, and I will ask them to investigate first. So I won't post something or try and help somebody unless I've actually checked out the story to see if it is if it's a valid story, if it's a genuine request. Because yes, you're 100% right, and I mean, Stan, you and I are in the same position where people will try to take advantage of you. I mean, that's a given. So it's become worse though in recent times, where people are trying to get stuff that they don't particularly need. But yeah, it is what it is.
We became so serious en hulle gooi sommer 'n topic wat if ek verstaan nie.
Okay, wait.
Oh, hulle, it's Women's Month. Hulle gooi die topic as.
Ek wil die hoekom wil baby mamas en altyd die victims is.
Kyk hierso. Tell out the story. Hy sal seker maar vir een van ons sy story moet vertel. Send me an anonymous inbox. I'll post it for you, my guy.
Post dit hier hulle, laat ons kan explain. Please
Maar
explain.
gaan ons nie vir ons nou sê nie, hy dan nou klaar sê sy naam gewys.
Rega Biba sê kos hulle is onnodig.
Guys, in all honesty, there are a lot of women that are out there that are very, very bitter. And I think, not all of us are like that. And some people have more reason to be than others. But I think every situation is different. And tell us, Amma, phone say, hoekom is sy baby mama onnodig wa?
Yeah, but that's the thing. And a lot of people don't understand. I like the pages, the supportive pages towards women and stuff, and it's Women's Month. But a lot of our men are really at the vulnerable state. We are making our men weaker by the day, each day, by telling them they are like this, like that. Now the men are becoming weaker, and then the women say they want stronger men. And when they want stronger men, again, like the past, then they say they are too abusive. We want weaker men. And I'm not saying about abuse. I'm not talking about abuse and that stuff. I'm talking about the general of a protectiveness of a man and wanting a manly man and wanting a man to provide or certain characteristics or traits. Today is a give and take. People fall in love for various reasons and stuff like that. So wat ek wil sê by wat hulle nou sê as jou baby mama onnodig is and I don't know what you did to her. There must have been something that you have left unturned or a stone unturned of miskien het sy vir jou gelos en gedink sy gaan nie happy wees nie. Nou sy te happy te hulle. You probably too happy also sometimes. There's a lot of scenarios and variables in place for such stuff.
I also think the thing is also like, you know, from a colored perspective and in a colored community, we don't go for therapy and actually try and resolve issues. You know what I mean? We don't want, okay, half of the time we can't afford it because therapy is expensive, okay? But a lot of the time we don't actually like, you know, deal with what is actually hurting us. And if you hold on to something that is hurting you for a long time, it changes the person that you are. So I take it a lot of us are bitter and ons is kwaad en ons, you know, die dag wat ons hy man sien gaan ons hom seker slaan, but you know, it is what it is. Just keep the knives away from us and all will be well, and try not to cheat on us.
But
I mean,
you
really.
know,
I like what you say and you actually might answer a question. You said as colours, but you remember you are from Kimberley, so it's a thing. It's not only I always thought it was only the people on the Cape Flats in Cape Town, the colours here. They don't like to go see, you know, help to get help for themselves, like professional help. But you say it's in your side of the world as well.
I think it's in general. So look, I'm from Kimberley, but I mean, I live in Joburg now. And even, I mean, I get exposed on my page. I mean, obviously, like get exposed to mostly colored women and, you know, mostly colored people as such. And I'm not just talking about the girls in this particular instance. Stan, how many of the guys go for therapy? So, you know, if you, I mean, I think it's a lot harder for the women on my page, because a lot of them are single moms and they're trying to just get by and, you know, just trying to put food on the table. You know, it's a lot. You got so much to do. As jy werk, jy gaan vroeg weer toe, jy moet die kinders by die skool kry. You must make sure that there's lunch. You must make sure that there's supper. You know, you've got a lot going on. So, you know, in your day, do you really have time to go you know, to go to therapy? By the way, one of the other people that's probably on this page and on your page and on my page, Vilma, she's actually a life coach, and she's actually offered to do some of these sessions, like, you know, these online sessions. I must get this StreamYard thing so that we can actually like do these virtual ones where people can actually just talk and ask and, you know, like literally just, I think the anonymous posts that we have as well, they help. So I think that's the people's way of actually getting some advice, getting some insight into something that is a big problem in their life. Sometimes I don't think it's a big problem, but I always post them because I think what to me is a big problem and what to you is a big problem is not always the same thing.
I like what Habiba said also, and that's so true. In general, therapy makes you look weak. We were told this, and it's true. Growing up previously, let's maybe not say color, growing up previously disadvantaged, we were never told that you have ADD, ADHD, or all these things. Because like you just said, maybe there wasn't money, so our parents would say, you would rather hear the word, you're an idiot or you're clever. That was two blanket statements. So it's either the dom of the slim, een van die twee. And now you walk around with that mindset, not saying you are more practically clever or you're more creative. We were never put in, labeled in that way as net, the dom of the slim, klaar. It's like that. And that's why therapy is hard for our people to understand, because we had to build this character to make ourselves believe of years of trauma. Remember, it's only 24, and I don't want to hit back on the 24, not even many years ago, that apartheid existed also. After that trauma, people were then catching up to depth and trying to live a better lifestyle because they've been given things that was out of their reach. And so now they are swamped into desires that they could never reach. So these are also part of the trauma that's being carried over. That's why you have people that are envious towards other people. So they've made it instant money, you call it now new money, and all those things. So there's generations worth of trauma that needs to be ironed out. So it's not going to happen in this generation or the next. It needs to, over time, be ironed out. People need to learn what the value of money is, what the value of life is, and not just the surviving, because that's what our people do. Day by day, previously disadvantaged people, be it men also, are being looked down on because they're trying to build a better life, but they can maybe just achieve in their lifestyle a certain thing. Yes, we all can be rich, and there's so many tools out there. But because again, I'm going to go back, and I don't want to hit on it. I'm not the guy that, oh, it's apartheid and made us like this. No, but trauma makes people react a certain way and put defenses up. Just like when you go through a divorce or someone hurts you or not, you've been in a toxic relationship, it's not easy to climb into a new relationship. Now imagine your parents has been toxic to you all your life and misinforming you about life, and now instantly you have all this cultural shock, and now you're sitting with this trauma. You don't know how to treat a woman right. You don't know how to speak to a woman. Not that our parents did not give you these values, but it's because of the society and of the misunderstanding that you grew up with. That's just my understanding. The pressure on men and women today.
So so just adding on to what you're saying now, right? So my generation, right? The ones that can go and get the vaccine now, that ones. So we still have that where our parents were still very conservative. You know what I mean? So your mom was still okay. My mom and my dad are not like this. Okay, I'm gonna just throw it back to like maybe my grandparents. So my grandmother wouldn't work. She stayed at home and she looked after the house and she looked after the kids, and she could bake a mean fat cake. Okay. But my grandfather was the one that actually went out and earned the money and came back. So when he came home, it was that whole thing of, okay, you now hand over your pay paki so your wife can actually deal whatever she needs to deal, but you still have the control. You still decide, you know what, yeah, ons kan dit doen, ons kan daai doen or whatever. But it was still a very traditional type of, that a mindset. You know what I mean? Then obviously the next generation came along, and these ones, this generation of women now work. So we come home, and even though we've been taught, like the guys have been taught that, okay, you are the head of the home and all the rest of it. It's all good and well to be the head of the home when I'm sitting at home and I don't have to actually go and hustle just as hard as you do. So I come home and I'm tired as well. And
But
now
that
traditional values state that I must come home, I must see to the kids. Ek moet nog die kinders pad, ek moet nou maak seker
Yes,
maak as
yes,
kos op die tafel. Jy was vroeër by die huis gewees as ek, maar eintlik het jy nou net TV kom kyk. Those type of
yes.
things create loads and loads of frustrations. And those type of things are things that we don't talk about. And we never went. And that is also a type of trauma, because you've grown up in a situation where you are taught one thing. And in a realistic world of today, that one thing that you learned isn't a thing anymore.
You are so right. When we see our parents, so it is intergenerational. When we see our parents, um, coming from work, my father sits and watches TV, reads the newspaper. Mommy is just as tired. She must clean the house. She must cook. She must make food. It's almost like it goes over to the next generation. I must see my wife also do that, and I think that is something that we also need to stop as men. We need, like I always say, we need to also take action, and we also need to be part. No, it is not like a 150% relationship. It is like, what can I do to help you? And Shantelle, one of the things that you also said, the Bible, many of the religious books teaches men or says a woman must be submissive to her husband, but we have it wrong. We automatically say a woman must be a slave to her husband, or we think so, and that is wrong, because we must be people. We as men must protect our woman, but because we misinterpret the whole thing, and I think that is where we go wrong as men, and that's where the gender-based violence stems from, because now the woman can't she's not allowing you, and now she's gonna hit, she's gonna stand up because you are abusing her. So we also need to know our boundaries when it comes to the men, and we also need to know, we must play our part as men in the house, not what our fathers did, but start a relationship where we are equal.
yeah,
So I've got this thing where um if in a dating scenario, right, the guys I find attractive are the ones that actually have kids, that are good fathers.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, that to me is like high on my list of priorities. Are you a good father? So
Mhm.
Telo brought up something to just now about his baby mama or somebody's baby mama being on Nodig. And
Mm,
yes, there are many, many, many of us that are deep on Nodig. I mean,
Mhm.
let's not try and sugarcoat that. But
mm,
there are a lot of us that want our kids' fathers to be better fathers. And
mm,
seeing like other guys that are single dads that are doing way more then you could actually expect them to do. And they're doing such an amazing job. And now, yeah, baby daddy is coming and he wants to come fetch the kids once a year for Christmas clothes. Like they don't eat 3 times a day, and they don't wear clothes, and they don't grow, and they don't need school fees. Those are the type of things that make baby mamas crazy. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
it's a
and then
catch
when they
22.
scream and they shout at you, and they don't want you to see the children, then you sit there and you complain about them being bitter and upset and all the rest of it. Maar jy het hoe kan nie jou beer, jy het nie jou, you didn't bring your side. So strangely enough, like I said, if you go on to Tinder or whatever and you say, I want a guy that has a stable job and whatever, right? People think you're crazy because you've got a list of requirements. One of my list of requirements is if you actually don't have children, I don't know how to have a conversation with you, because my life revolves around my kids. So you're not going to understand that because you don't have the same dynamic. Nou wil jy movies toe gaan op 'n donderdag aan, and I have a school project that needs to be handed in at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can't get upset. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then the baby daddy, however, he can move on with his life. He can he's probably married again. He's probably got another family. Now you want to incorporate my child into that new family. There's a lot of dynamics in our situations. There are just so many dynamics. It's ridiculous. So that's why I said, every situation is different.
What you're saying is true, that every situation is different, but I would like to give women advice, if it's just in my opinion, that a good father does not make a good partner. One thing you should understand, and that's what I've seen as a
100%, I agree.
male. A good father does not make a good partner. But by saying that, I understand what you mean, that when you come with your list, it's similarities and traits, and we all look for similarities. But I would say what women need to do, and here's one thing I'm going to go back what I said last time on Mother's Day. Yes, we're now looking for a man that can provide, you stay at home. But remember, there was a rights movement that was fighting for women equality to work. And now a lot of ladies are saying, I wish I could stay at home and my man provide for me. I'll cook, I'll clean, or whatever. I'll be
I
that
don't know
old.
any of those women, by the way.
No. But just hear me out. There's a lot of women that feel that way. Yes, it depends on where you find yourself and what space you find yourself in. If you find yourself with a man that's emotionally stable, first of all, emotional stableness is very important. Yes, could have a good job, but he must be goal-driven and all those things. But if you really want a man in your life that will look after you, be by you, find out what you guys are willing to compromise, because a relationship is selfless. It's not just understanding and say, this is what I like. Oh, maybe we can work on that, because it changes day by day. Now, by saying that, a woman fought for equality back in the day because of the banks and because of the government saying women need to work for equality. And that's why we all sit in this trap of debt and paying more taxes and paying more things in the end of the day. So you get what I'm trying to say by that one, Stanley?
Yes. Look, there's some ladies I always hear, ek wens my man kan 'n week het dat ek kan by die huis bly, So you always do get that type of conversations amongst the ladies. So to a certain point, I can understand. But like Sen says, I think some ladies might want to work, be
No, of
independent,
course, yes.
and some maybe feel okay, they want to stay at home. So I think women should have the option. It shouldn't be compulsory. If you want to, you can. But a lot of women nowadays feel that, also the parent remember, gender-based violence was always there, but there wasn't a name
Of
for it.
course, yes.
It was always there. And then when women became, I believe when women became more independent, started speaking up, ek het nie meer vir jou nodig nie, so never mind some of you. So I think women are also afraid of that, when they don't work, men will sort of dominate and tell them what to do. So they want the independence,
The word you're looking for Mark. That's the word you're looking for. Vermaak.
That is so true. That is so true, which will happen. But the context that I'm putting it in is that we need to understand each other as humans, because when we see each other, men look at women nowadays like, what's his name now said there? I want to actually read Turlo's thing when he said, why is women like snakes? And then women look at men like trash. But there's really good women out there with beautiful hearts, and then there's jerks. And then there's men out there with beautiful hearts, and then there's jerks. But we are closing the door of opportunity for finding love in today's society because people are blanket stating what happened in their experience and saying, "Ooh, jou man gaan ook miskien hy doen." Premeditated thoughts into someone else's brain, and then he reacts on it. This is how society is being set up. We are not trying to understand each other anymore. We come already in with the agenda. That's what I'm trying to say. Not saying there shouldn't be equality and all those things. I'm saying go in with the understanding. Yes, don't lose that touch of infatuation and attraction at first sight. That is still the most wonderful thing. People love that. You need to be attracted. Jy gaan nie net vir iemand date so 'n attraction. We know that. But otherwise, we need for love to grow, and it sounds like a fairy tale type of thing. You need to be willing to compromise from both sides.
Well, I think your first relationships or your first marriage, notice how I said first marriage. Anyway, when you get married young, when you, I didn't mean it that way. I actually meant like, when you're younger and you're in a marriage, right? Or in a relationship, let's say a serious relationship, you have different expectations. You life teaches you many things, hey? And when you in your 20s, you have certain expectations. In your 30s, you have certain expectations. So I'm over 40, right? And I can honestly tell you my expectations of what I would want now and what I expect now and what I will compromise on is completely different from 20 years ago. So when you say compromise, I think a lot of women, as you get older, realize that yes, there needs to be a compromise in any relationship. But you also find that you need to get to a certain level of maturity. And, there has to be a maturity where you actually realize like, for example, I can easily say now, like, I had a horrible divorce, guys. It was terrible. It took me like 8 years to get over my divorce. But I can honestly tell you that now I'm mature enough to turn around and say, okay, fine, there's things I could have done differently. There was things that he did wrong and there's things that I did wrong. And now, like you said, you know what? We can parent together. We can have a conversation. We can actually have a conversation as friends now. But we definitely weren't doing that when we were throwing shit at each other just before our divorce. So there is that level of what you're saying is, this whole independence thing. There's an upside to it and there's a downside to it. Like everything, you are not going to vermaak an independent woman. Okay, that's the whole thing. However, it's also very difficult, and I'm one of these independent women, right? It's very difficult for me to ask for help. It's very difficult for me to allow you to pay for my dinner. When you send me flowers, I actually am sitting there wondering what's wrong with you. Why are you sending me flowers? What did you do? So, there's that side to being independent as well. And I'm working on that, guys. I'm working on it, okay? I'm allowing people to pay for my coffee these days. But it's not easy.
We should. And what you said now, and I don't want women also to, and I like helping because I'm raising a daughter also. I have a son and I need to protect him as a man, and I have a daughter. I love my daughter to bits. And I don't raise her for herself. I raise her to understand the world. I don't raise her for the world. Our parents used to say, I'm raising you for the world. No, I raise you to understand the world because the world needs to understand itself. So my thing is when I speak, and maybe when she gets to that level, and hopefully God spares me to see her, my thing is also I always want women to understand themselves first, understand what they want out of life. What you said now perfectly, it was so spot on that at certain ages everything changes. You're willing to compromise certain things, and you understand a little bit more of the course of experience out of life, and also with growth and understanding your side. Now, what I want to leave with women always from my side, because I love people being loved, and this is just who I am. I want them to step out of that comfort zone. If I'm going to have a perfect job, men also think like that. If I'm going to have a perfect job, if I'm going to do that, no man is going to walk over me. He's going to come in because he loves me. Bullcrap. It doesn't always work like that. Men are, and sorry to throw men under the bus at this point, women are just manipulative, but men are one of the most manipulative creatures because women are built on emotions. Yet, day in, day out, they can be as hardcore as they want to, but they were so beautifully made that the emotional side does creep in when it comes to certain logical topics or so. So that's why when women understand that protection of having a good job, of fending yourself, should not be your barrier of defense towards finding love. You need to understand, you need to still open yourself up, like you said, compromise, understand, and that you need to be also willing to take. Otherwise, you're going to chase men away. Have you seen all these independent women being single and
Oh,
saying they're so
I feel,
happy?
I feel attacked. Is Byron allowed to attack
No,
me
no,
though?
that's just how I speak.
Honestly,
That's how I speak.
Please,
I'm
Byron,
joking.
please,
I'm
Byron.
joking. What I actually mean is that sounds very much like advice I should take.
Okay. But
That's
most
what.
women, I speak a lot to women, and the trending thing I find is they feel they need to have power, and a relationship is not about control. It's not about power, and that's where most couples fail. They go into power one side. I have the power now. You have the power tomorrow. More strayela. Because the power keeps on shifting. It should be a balance as our life should be, and people don't understand that. You can have the best job ever, but you're gonna always think that is your key to finding a perfect man. Not you, but certain people do that. Certain men also, they think if I have this car, that car, this car, I can treat a woman as I want to, and that's the ego of a crappy man. You get
Yes.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's really, love is about vulnerability, opening yourself up, and understanding and
Mm.
compromising. This is just my key factors of that balance.
The thing is, though, Shame, Stan, do you sometimes want to speak on your own page?
No, I
But
just
the
wanted to
thing,
ask
though,
you guys something while ago I was with it, but it's fine. I will come in
no,
now.
no, go for it, go for it.
No, it's fine. You know, you guys said something and something came up. A lot of men they start a journey with their partners and they build, but hulle pay nie baie geld nie, and they at the bottom of the food chain. Now they're working up, and this woman is promoting him. This woman is building him, and as soon as he makes it, then he leaves this woman that is building, and dan gaan hy nou aan, hy los vir haar. And I think that is something that I've heard over the weekend, and I think that is something that really bothers me. How can you leave someone that has built you? How can you leave somebody? I mean, we say, yeah, women are snakes, but not all women are snakes. That's miskien 'n paar, in what men too. But if a woman works hard with you, you need to respect that.
So I think a lot of the time, what we don't realize as well is that is also one of the reasons women are bitter. Like, divorced women, they're bitter because, and I mean, I understand why they're bitter. I would like them to be less bitter, but I understand why, because you've built this, like you said, you've sacrificed so much in that relationship. You've gone to work and you've worked double shifts just so that man can get that degree. Now he's got that degree. He's got the house in the suburbs. He's got the degree. He earns a decent salary, whatever. And then whoops, vaps, he's busy with someone else. Next best thing, he's having an affair. And then that girlie who's probably like always wanted some guy who's got a house in the suburbs, now actually make sure that she actually gets him to the point where he divorces. There's a divorce imminent. And then him, like an idiot, he marries that girl. Now, how do you expect that woman to actually be nice to anybody? You can't expect her now to play happy families. That car you drive, that every increase you get is built on the sweat from her brow. So yeah, there's a lot of things. I mean, I think my page is something that other people can learn from, that guys should actually learn from as well.
Of course, yes. And guys, I trust me, as men are, as creatures, lira, so don't worry. They use it as their hunting tool. I said the men use it as their hunting tool. So men are creeps. Don't worry, you'll see a lot of them there on the page looking in between. Oh, the no, comment. Maybe I'm gonna say to her, I also like these type of things. But really, without joking, with jokes aside, I see some comments are coming in, and I like the one. We promised Turlo if he writes on here, we're gonna read out his comment. I don't know if Stanley wanted to do that, but I just want to say, Shan, from my side, I love what you guys are doing with the page, and just by listening also, and just also by scrolling through the page, and I would go reflect back to who wasn't here earlier. I like the fact that it's women that can chat to each other on a healthy platform. And there is so little healthy platforms out there, especially with media, the way it's just portrayed negativity, especially the strong name behind it. And I don't want to make it about race when you say colored girls rock. us colored women need that empowerment to know they are also superior beings and they also carry it in high esteem in this life. And I feel from my side, and I just want to commend you guys. It might just seem like a page, but it does bring that sense of empowerment. Yes, it's jokies, it's stuff, but it brings unity, and that's what we need. And I commend you for that. That's just something I want to leave with also.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. A lot of people have an issue with the page name. And lately it's come up a lot because I have an insane amount of new people on the page all of a sudden. And they all ask, why do you, and some of them are not South African. So the story comes up a lot, but like colored is actually very racist and whatever else. And I'm tired of explaining it to people, but I will continue explaining it to people because I'm not going to change the page's name for nobody and nothing. I've considered it, but I only considered it to include the guys because, the guys feel excluded. But I was never going to change the colored part.
Yeah. Tomorrow, Stanley and I'm on the profile picture. We're gonna send a picture of the two of us, the two sexiest men alive. At also kan bietjie rotate.
Listen, I'm telling you, I'm in Cape Town next week now. Yesterday I did a live with my friend Neo. Right, we lots of fun when we're together because all we do is laugh. But I literally put it out there that I need a date when I am in. My kids can hear me, right? And my daughter actually lectured me about this last night. But okay, anyway. So I'm literally that one saying, I'm going to put up my picture tomorrow. And I'm going to say, listen, guys, I am in Cape Town. Now slide into my DMs and give me options. Don't just give me options just in chair. Like now is a good time.
You can forward you.
Not the lighties. I hear her. So but the older ones, guys, the older ones. Okay. But you two I can put up on Saturday. After I've sorted myself out, I can sort you.
I'm joking. I'm really taken. I'm in love. I found love. I'm lucky. I'm blessed. Stanley's a vrou van
Stan, kyk hoe oulik is hy.
Ja, nee, hy's bang vir sy vrou. Daai is die probleem.
Yeah, rather be scared if my wife phones me and I'm at a meeting and she says move left, I'll move left. Rather a happy woman than a sad man.
You also don't know what is in that food when you get home.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
So can I tell you a story before we go, right? So you know how you were saying now you need to actually keep your wife happy. So years and years ago, right? So I come from Kimberley, and then there was this guy this uncle that was obviously cheating on his wife every 5 seconds, right? And his wife eventually found a way to get him to stop cheating. What she did was when she did the washing, she crushed a whole lot of chilies, right? And she put it in the water, and she put all his underwear in that chili water, and she hung it up to dry, and she ironed it nicely and put it back into his underwear drawer and everything. And every day he would come back burning. He would be like really, he'd be in pain because he's like obviously burning, right? And he'd have to go to the clinic to get ointment and whatever. And one day, like my mom's a nurse, and then she was actually like, I had to ask Mano, what is going on here? Then the auntie now literally told them, no, they won't be loop by rond. So this is what she's doing. So every time he says something, then she says, jy sal maar weet waar boek om brand jy. Jy weet mos waar was jy. Gaan vra hy mens. Meantime, she's putting chilies. So you know what? Now we are a very, very, very creative community.
And evil. And evil.
Creative. The word is creative.
Not evil. I've heard stories like that.
The uncle stopped his crap, eh?
Yeah. But our women were bad in the past. They looked like they were pushovers, but they got you. Those women, they could get you.
It's so cute. It's so cute that you think it's in the past.
Today you go to jail for nonsense like that.
Today we're a lot more clever. We know how to cover our tracks.
Before we go, you heard there first. Color Girls Rock. Women know how to cover their tracks. Oh, you see, that's another topic. Women better cheaters than men.
The Crime and Investigation channel. No, their demographic is purely women.
But that is true. All the ladies that I know watch that, and I've noticed that. I'm on like, they will exactly tell you hoe gaan ons vir jou dood.
And you know what? Now you think we're joking. That's the part that's actually the most intricate part of this whole thing. Now we have to throw it in there like we're joking, like and then you just think we're joking, but like you're not taking us scope to. And then one good day when you don't wake up, know that that's exactly what we told you. We warned you. You just didn't take it as a warning.
Exactly.
But
And
it is
and
so true, and I've actually picked up on that. As ek by my
I,
ma kom, they watch it. Crime channels. By my vriend kom, sy vrou kyk dit. My huis kyk hulle dit ook. So sy pick up dat die vir my, so wat's die goeie?
Yeah, but
Sandy,
take because maybe you'll see the signs if you actually start watching the programs as well, as opposed to thinking I'm gonna go read now or now I'm gonna go work or whatever. Yes, see yourself weer
Yeah.
besig met die channel. Meantime, huh? There's a lot
what,
of us
what
that know where to get untraceable poison, guys.
I just like to take one last comment because I see Fatima came in there when she started with the word woman move from a bad relationship for the wrong reasons like security, loneliness, fear of not getting a partner when they get older. A woman should first heal. They shouldn't jump from relationship to relationship. Some goes for men. You are sorry, I say op screen so lees you are never too old to find happiness. Yeah, so she said good evening. Yeah, we know you're never too old to find happiness, but over a certain age, the bipolar starts kicking in by both sides, men and women. So it's a bit bangerag. You're dating a little bit of baggage when it gets a bit older. So that's the give and take also. But yes, you can still find love, I believe.
I don't know. I think some of us are scared of love. So love gives people a certain sense of power. So and like if I love you more than you love me, you have a better chance of hurting me than I have of hurting you. Because
Mm,
if you walk away, I'll be broken. But if I walk
mm,
away, jy gaan maar nou net sien, okay, let me just create a Tinder account quickly. By next week, you've got a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
yeah.
Me, I'm still crying. So that's why there is a sense of power in and a loss of power in actually falling in love. And I think I'm one of the people that's scared shitless of it. I mean, all my friends, especially Habiba, who keeps commenting on here, will be the one of the first to tell you she gives me a lecture. Like probably every week, I get a lecture from her about the way I am. But it is what it is. I mean, I agree that you need to actually heal, and I think even when you healed, you're still scared.
Mm.
You know
Maybe
what?
I look at love this way. I say if I go through 50 relationships and I keep on saying I got hurt because the next person was bad, that means I've learned nothing. I don't take love as just a healing process. I take it as experience to understand what I need out of love and what I need to for myself to fall in love in that process of love. So I would say if you do come across relationships that's hurt you, it doesn't mean that you've been in one relationship for 75 years that you're happy. Trust me, there's people that's unhappy. Like they say, you live till 75, but you dead at 25 already. There's relationships like that. So don't think because you've been in
I've heard
30
a lot of that.
relationships. Yeah, don't think that you've been in 30 relationships that you're unhappy. You are trying to understand yourself as a human, just as the next human. So maybe take it as an experience of love, I would say.
So listen, somebody needs to actually counsel Turlo. Now, Turlo mate just posted another comment. Now that guy needs to talk to one of you guys. He needs help.
Hello, give me a call, hello. We can talk about it tonight, na. We're gonna talk about this. Beer drink, na.
I can organize therapy though.
A shame,
It
man.
depends if you want
Turlo's
therapy.
back what? Whoever
It's
whoever
by
upset Turlo, hou op.
I tell you, essay Abu geschreven. And I think we should read it out to be fair to before you guys go. If
Okay,
you
read
have
that.
time. Let's give him a fair chance, Stanley. I twee essays geschreven. Give the hello a fair chance.
Is it? There we go.
Because
All right,
we are him. Yeah.
there we go. My late se ouma stuur my 'n message dat ek nie extra nie. There's no money obviously. Ek sê
Mhm.
nie die baby mama kodee met 'n message ek moet my reg maak vir die court vir court toe gaan. Ek was toe geneem en same soos altyd. Maar die punt is, weet julle, ek gee elke week geld. Daar is tye wat ek meer as ekstra gee. Maar nou net omdat ek nou die een keer dan ekstra gegee het nie, toe is ek weer die slegte pa. Maar ja, vroumense, ek's nie die beste pa nie. Maar hier is van ons wat try. So hy
Actually,
is
you
nie
know
so
what
kwaad.
I actually
That's
feel
awesome.
sorry for him because he's right. You know, a lot of the time, you know, we all different, okay? Women, I mean, there's times where there's a lot of things where we're the same, and there's a lot of things where we are completely different. For me, I appreciate the fact that you're trying. If you're trying, then you know there's already that, and I feel that at least if you're making that effort, you know what I mean, I can see it. So I'm not going to name and shame you for not, you know, because because as far as I'm concerned, you couldn't give me 3,000 rand, but you came here and you gave me 1,500 rand, you know.
Okay.
And you're saying, okay, I can try to see what I can do, you know what I mean, depending on what the need is, because also sometimes there's women that don't really use the money that they get for the stuff that they should be using it for. And that is a whole nother conversation that we should have. But anyway,
Sure.
but yeah, so I do feel sorry for Telo, and I actually understand why the guy is so upset. Shame Telo, because by jammer. Stan gaan jou counsel. Regtig. Bel hom net na die tyd.
Vir die nieuwspot pa, brother. So the pa biere drink en ons praat.
Ek en Stanley moet begin 'n comment op Colored Girls Rock, so we can rock a bit of the comments. So we must wait till there's a juicy topic and just gooi 'n controversial line in between and sien wat gaan gebeur.
There's a controversial topic almost every night, guys. Almost every night.
I'll keep a lookout. Guys, it was phenomenal chatting to you both, and it was really comfortable, and there's no strings attached to what we said. We all have our perspective on things, and I love that. And like I go back and I stand on the statement, what I said about the page and what you're doing. Love that also. And I also want to thank you, Stanley, for involving me. Maar ek is even aan jou side chickie, ek is 'n upgrade. Sy moet my nou 'n trouring gee. Ons kan nie net jou side chick bly nie.
Okay. Ek gaan commit nou.
Ooh, okay. Okay, I feel like this conversation is a conversation between A and B, and C here. Way out of this conversation. Julle twee moet mouse. Then I think you need to take Byron out for lunch.
I will. I'll take him to
Exactly.
Om 'n
He's going to take you out for lunch before he takes me out for lunch. Maar ons doen al nou week nou langsaam, but he never took me once out for lunch. How does that sound? Hy vlieg oor and he's like, yeah, let's go. But not once Byron come around me or something.
Byron,
You know how we treat
Byron.
people from Kimberley and from Joburg. We treat them with respect, brother. So please.
Byron, you need to understand something now. Ek het lang hare en ek het mooi oë, né? So unfortunately, you know, it's just in general, the problem is I'm prettier than you.
Ai, nou sien jy, haar
That's
begin
why
dit al
I'm getting
klaar.
lunch.
Haar begin dit al klaar. Arme man, mense, ons verloor maar altyd.
It's
But
not
thank
that
you so
bad,
much.
relax.
Shane, when you're here, we're gonna have a liquor day. We're gonna chat liquor, and we should go live also. You know, Byron can
100%.
join us.
It should be fun. We'll go. We'll do it. We'll do lives together, and then we'll be like at the same place, and we'll both, and then people will leverage off both our pages. That should be cool.
That will be nice. Just let me know. I'll spend the day with you when you're here, and then we can do something. And Byron will also be there. He will be
Okay,
next.
perfect. Anyway, thank you guys. It was lots and lots of
you.
fun.
Thank you, Shane.
Much love.
Thank you
Okay,
for
bye.
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 Byron, thank you so much, brother. Like
Altyd.
always, it's lekker om te praat op 'n maandag en saam met jou en met as 'n guest. I think we got so used to asking the questions with it, you know, wat mense skaam is om te praat oor. And I think we this time we talk about the real things, like Turlo came out, Turlo it's a story vertel. And I mean, this is something we need to also look, like I see there's also on our page, there's a need for us as men to also talk. So maybe we should also look into that, you know, how can we help our men and topics like that, because, you know, we are also hurt.
Right. Not taking away from Women's Month, but
Yeah.
seriously, sometimes, and like I say a lot of times, I'm raising a daughter and a son. But we need to understand now some men are hurting out there. And to have good relationships with women, we need to heal our men also. We need
That's
to make
right.
them understand what their worth is also. Because if you don't understand your worth and you're an emasculated man, a beta male, or whatever they want to call you, you are going to mistreat people and the world because you are trying to find yourself. So yes, programs need to be established to uplift
Mm.
our men, to make them understand who they are, and make them understand they are worthy of love and giving love.
That's right, Baron. Baron, in what you said now, I was just thinking today in the last couple of days about the following. In many cases, men don't always want to be monsters, but because some of them were raised by monsters, they
Mm,
saw things maybe that their father did, and they
mm,
think it's right. I also believe men have these demons that they fight, these demons that they want to, say, step one side, and sometimes they can't help. And like we said earlier on, we are too afraid to talk to professional people, and
exactly.
that's things that we need to talk about. Men need to start talking about these things, and we need to
Mm,
see, we need to become better men, and I
exactly.
know it's difficult, but I mean, we have to start somewhere.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm looking forward to that date. Sy het my mos nie ge-invite vir jou birthday nie, so ek los dit nou live. You guys heard? Stanley gaan my op 'n date vat.
Beautiful
Um
life.
yeah, but I'm going chemo Tuesday, so I'll
Okay,
when did you say it's next week, eh?
next week, yeah.
Okay,
Next,
I should be good for to go.
yeah.
But have a liquor one, but man, really I enjoyed it as always. And
Yes,
you, K
brother.
Flat Stories, look after each other. Ons is mooi
Yes,
mense
sir.
en ons is lief vir mekaar.
That means all the best for your therapy tomorrow, and I'll
Mm,
think of you, bro.
thanks, man.
Thanks.
See you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It was a liquor cast. It was a liquor broadcast. It's liquor talking about the things that we don't talk about, and also giving advice and getting advice and hearing your stories. Baie keer ek het nou gehoor na Turlo se storie. Daar's baie meer man soos Turlo, And let's be strong. Let's stay positive, and also try to understand that we need to show love, we need to show support, we need to be nice. The problem is in many conversations, the one always want to be right. We sometimes need to sit still and say, okay, you talk. Okay, you're done talking, let me talk. Okay, now what can we do to fix the problem? And that is what men don't like to do, is to talk about the things that bothers them. But guys, have an awesome Monday. More is Dinsdag, and keep safe. And you guys that have been doing the jab, well done. And those that still going, all the best. And also, people that are suffering of COVID, we're praying for you guys. There's a lot of people that passed away, and let's just stay positive also, and take our mind away from the things happening out here, but stay positive and also be safe. And guys, I'm gonna greet you, and just remember that you are special. Don't ever think that you are not special. God bless.